Uh-oh. My webcam freezes every time I do this. Let me just... There we go. But they changed something on YouTube. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't know what they did, or maybe it was me, but I am not a fan. Anyway, this is now gone. Move this one up. There we go. Forgot to do that before I started. Oh well. You're fine. He's gonna want, bro, I know. Yeah, that's... It just freezes at whatever place it was in last. Just fun. Okay. Optimus, Master Games, AK-47. Nihilus, of course. Jarrett Pro. I play video games. Jaco. Sparix. Welcome, everybody. Test ID. Oh no. We're gonna have to freaking... I'm gonna have to remember that one and pull it out now. Alright. As far as I'm aware, you set it to only collect... Wait a second. Did you set it to only collect after the stream is over? Because, like, I don't even see the other command. Which, like... It only hit me just now that I probably am going to need it before the stream is over. Is that a disk launcher seeker? Yes. It's an achievement thing, but also there was a disk launcher specialization spree. Yeah. Jaco, it would appear that the collecting... Like, I can't start it on a stream that's already going. Are those Vipers? Yeah. It's raining hard around... Yeah, same. Actually, I have, like, a window open. I should probably go close that. But it's probably fine. Hooray. Sorry. But Jacob came in here, he did the test ID, and then he literally just left. What's up with that? Does anyone else notice that pots with particle beam have multiple charges? Oh yeah, no, I noticed that a long time ago. Alright, well. Manually collecting, wait, what? What? I always manually collect them, I don't know why. Chico despawn, bro. I know. That's what I'm saying. All right, well, I mean, worst case scenario, I'll have to, like, the winner won't know until... I guess technically I could, like, stop the stream and then literally start another one. Just to see who wins. That would be kind of... It'd be kind of not ideal, personally. I always try to come on time for this, but I don't have time. I mean, you're here now. Yeah. Do it. Gamers only. How many winners? Only one. I should... Oh, chicken. What was the question? I was saying that the command for collecting IDs while the stream is going is not showing up. I only see the one where it collects after the stream's over. I literally don't even see the command option for that. Unless, well, hold on. Now maybe I'm dumb. Oh, here we go. Never mind. Everything's fine. I am just dumb. I think you renamed it or something, and it just, like, it looks slightly different. Should work during and after. Yeah. No, it does. I just did it before anyone put an ID in. Because usually it says, like, okay, you know, like, it's starting now. And then when you press, and then when you do the stop command is when it's fine. It only took me a minute. I'm kind of slow. Should put more documentation, right? No, it's fine. ID, is it like, it's not even the, bro. Freaking double quotes. It's fantastic. Yeah, so it is working. It is working perfectly fine. Obviously, look at the title. Nihilus isn't trying to enter. He's trying to be weird. That much should be obvious. But obviously, look at the title. You're not going to be able to enter unless you put in the keyword, which is ID : no. You got to make sure it's, you know, spelled correctly. You don't want an apostrophe in between the two letters. You want to make sure that the colon's there. That is the way that the bot that Jake was set up is going to collect it. I am doing Hangar reviews as well. Yes. So I wanted to put the giveaway part as, like, the first part of the stream because I realized that, like, my thumbnail says nothing about giveaways, so probably I should say that. And I definitely need to change that. I need to add something to it. King Scott, hello. Welcome. Pongster, you put your ID, it's not showing up. I don't see it now. I think you're able to put commas and stuff between the numbers. I'm pretty sure Jaco set it up so where it'll still grab the ID if it just has, like, commas or whatever between the numbers. You must go, Master Games, no worries. This time I'm not holding you here at, like, minigun point or whatever. ID 123. Actually, I think he set a minimum number so that he didn't grab random numbers, and I think it was how many digits? 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. So I'll quickly explain. I'll quickly explain the giveaway aspect. It's the same as always. In fact, if you want to see all the different events, if you want to get some details on all of those, if you go to my Discord server, link it is in the description. There is an events channel, and yeah, basically the pinned message in there is the event schedule, and there's all kinds of things that we do. There's currently a thing going on where like you can suggest a challenge for me, and then we'll have a voting period. That's actually what my last challenge was, the one with the maximum sensitivity. So that was from Discord. So if you have a good challenge idea, go over there. Make sure you read the pinned messages, otherwise I will delete your message very quickly and without warning. But yeah, so the giveaway aspect specifically, one person will win at the end of the stream when it's, you know, at the end of 2 hours, which I probably should have said in my like announcement, but it's always a 2 hour long stream because I really can't do Hangar reviews for longer than that. It just, no. But yeah, 2 hours. And anyone who puts their ID in, obviously correctly, at the end of that, I during the stream pick one winner, and then that winner either gets 1,000 A-coins or 10,000 A-coins. There's like a little wheel that goes in. It's not a 50-50 chance because my wallet can't afford that, but there is a chance, and multiple people have won 10,000 A-coins already. Like, it's been like 3 times already that's happened. We've been doing these monthly giveaways for quite a while, actually. Did you make sure to cap it at 1 ID per person? Yeah, I think it removes duplicate IDs, and I think it doesn't. I think it goes by whichever ID you put in last. So like if you put in 1 and then let's say you put in your alt's ID afterward, it'll recognize the user and it'll just go by whichever one that you put in last, which in that case would be the alt's ID. So don't do that. And don't put your friend's ID in the chat either, because that's not going to work. You did that for the video, you don't know about live? Oh, fair enough. Well, I mean, if it's not working normally, then go ahead and try it. 211 A-coins for the victory. I wish. There's no way that you can give 211 A-coins. I want at least 5,000 A-coins. Well, technically you could get double that. This giveaway started because that one guy was saying he needed at least, he wanted 10,000 A-coins. At least 5,000, but, you know, he would have settled for 5,000, but he really wanted 10,000. That's actually not the reason that I started this, but it is kind of funny that he said the exact same thing. The duplicate detection works. I just don't know about commas. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like I said, better to put it in with commas than to not put it in at all, I guess. But yeah, I'm not accepting it anywhere else. I'm not accepting it on Discord, so don't send it to me on Discord. Don't send it to me in-game either if you're a main game list. Hell no. Plarium should take notes. 211 is best, honestly, though. You should do another test ID, Jacob. Should be easy enough. For the first ID review, can you do this one, please? Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so that brings us to the Hangar review part of this, which is if you want your Hangar reviewed, make sure to ask a specific question. Don't just say review me, please, because you know, I'll have like 100 people stopping by to say that. So like obviously I can't do that to everybody. I probably only go through like maybe 20 hangars if I'm lucky during this time, because I spend a good amount of time on each one. I want to make sure that people understand what's going on, why I'm saying what I'm saying, so that they can leave the stream and not have to immediately come back the next time I do it for more advice. Like, you know, I want to explain my thought process so that they can do it themselves. You know, so they can kind of basically, so to help people be able to like troubleshoot their own hangar themselves. Okay, so he's saying it underperforms and he doesn't really know why. I would say the main reason why is that, most likely anyway, you're very aggressive, but you're also very squishy. Like, it's an interesting combination of being aggressive and squishy. You do have this one tank with a single disc 16. It's not a very aggressive weapon. It's not the sort of thing you can really hold your ground with super effectively. But then you have, you know, this, which is obviously very aggressive build. This, you'll probably get a lot of kills with it, but, you know, fairly aggressive. Orion can't take a lot of heat. This, also aggressive. You're going to teleport in. Quite often, teleporting results in like a double KO, where it's like you kill the guy that you teleported to, but then you get shafted by like some random bot. Obviously, you can't really rely too much on Helix to carry you. That's also not... I feel like... I would say the main takeaway from this that I'm seeing is that you have one mech that's able to hold its ground, but it is not given a weapon that it can hold its ground with. You could possibly remedy this slightly by putting the Storm Racks on Aegis and the Disc Launcher on Surge. Disc Launcher Surge is not terrible since you can, you know, hit them in the back with it anyway, and the damage from that is not bad. Otherwise, if you're willing to... Oh, okay, so the Eclipse, that's interesting. If you're looking to change multiple things, this is 10s and not 8s. If it was 8s, then I would say probably EMs on Eclipse. The Helix on Orion. But I suppose this is probably fine too, because I guess at this stage of the game, you don't have like all that excess firepower from the pilot and stuff. Yeah. Decent pilot, but not like the absolute best. But yeah, that's the main thing. I don't really know what I don't necessarily think you need to swap the Aegis or add another. I don't think you necessarily need another tank. Like a lot of, I would say the best hangars have the three main scouts, and then 2 of the better tanks being Aegis, Vortex, or Bastion, whatever combination of the 3 that you want. But I don't think you necessarily need another one. What I do think you need is a weapon that can help the Aegis hold its ground. So that's what I would say with that. All right, I play video games. I'll check yours. Any build I should change? If not, then some tips for the future. Okay, any build I could change is a very vague statement, by the way, so you know, don't go with that as your go-to. You'll pass it on? All right, bet. Nice. Yeah, hopefully it helps. It's the only thing that I could really spot. Like from a glance, it looks like a fantastic hangar. But then when you like really get, especially in CPC, if he's playing like 2v2 or 5v5, I wouldn't really know, but especially for CPC, when you really get into the details, you start to notice that you're lacking something very specific. Okay. Obviously, this is kind of crap. I don't really know why it's there, apart from probably just because it's funny. At this point, I would say, oh god, I hate seeing this. You have so many maxed pilots. You have so many rank 6 rare pilots. You know how much of a waste this is. I hope you know how much of a waste this is, and I hope that you don't upgrade any more rare pilots. You know, you can't get back what you already spent, but you can keep yourself from doing it again. And you know, anybody else watching this, you can keep yourself from upgrading your rare pilots. I do not have a single rare pilot at rank 6, I don't believe. I think every single one of mine are at rank 4 except for one. That was the very first rare pilot that that was Jester, because I used him for quite a while as a close range pilot. And back then there was only one legendary pilot, and that was Major, right? So I upgraded him a bit. I think I may have gotten him to rank 5. But I don't think I have any at rank 6. And I certainly don't have any others that are over rank 4. And the reason is because of the stat progression of rare pilots and the cost scaling of rare pilots. Now I'll quickly go and say, you got 2 scouts that's really good. You have this tank. Probably this should be replaced with another tank of sorts, and the Bastion would probably do better with a little bit more DPS, because it's the same case with Nihilus. Let's say you're trying to hold a position. Your HP and your shield really, really help you do that. You can spawn on center, and it really helps you do that, but your weapons aren't doing you any favors. Most often, you want something with high DPS. This is not a terrible build, honestly. You could keep it for a while. Obviously, Gatecrasher's not really an endgame mech, but it's kind of whatever. The Cheetah I would replace with something, and even the Helix is probably not necessary. But let's go over the pilots real quick. The cost scaling... Actually, let me fact check myself on the pilots. Yeah, rank 4, rank 4, rank 4, rank 5. Rank 5 on Torchlight as well. Okay, so I was wrong. I do have 2 at rank 5, but 0 at rank 6 still. And here's the reason. Rank 4 is worth it, and the reason is because you get this 6% bonus to your innate skill. After that, you don't get it until it's maxed. So unless you spend all the extra, you're not getting anything. This right here, 17, 17, and 12 at max is the equivalent. Let me find. Wait, do I not have? Oh, I don't have one. Whatever. It's roughly the equivalent of this. This is slightly more than 12. This is slightly less than 17. So it's roughly the equivalent of rank 5 epic. A maxed rare. So that's, yeah, there's that. In terms of the cost, I actually have the master database right here. Hold on, let me load it. You spend, I think, 5,000 pilot marks. To get it to rank 6. The total pilot marks to max out a rare pilot is 300, 1,800, almost just shy of 7,000 pilot marks. For that amount, you can get an epic pilot to rank 5 easily and still have plenty to spare, putting you at like 4,000. Yeah, giving you about 4,000 head start on the last rank up to get a maxed epic. So you're spending about twice as much as you need to, and you're getting less reward for it. And this is not even including the fact that you only have 2 implant slots as opposed to 3 that epics get. So when I see anything, any rare pilot above rank 4, a part of me dies inside because rare pilots are not worth ranking up past rank 4. It starts to cost way too much. I think it's 1,500 to get it from 4 to 5, and then it's 5,000 to get it from 5 to 6, and that's just way too much. For the 1,500 to get from 4 to 5 is enough to get an epic to like rank 3 or rank 4, which is already better. It's already better than your rares doing. So it's a terrible idea. Like I said, you can't go back on it now, but what you can do is keep yourself from doing it again. Red Hangar spotted, yeah. JR Pro, did you put ID colon and then not put your ID in? That's wild. Hello, Red. Hello, Sentry. RuFFles just made me realize I only have 3 maxed pilots. Oh, yeah. I mean, it took me way too long to get all those pilots, trust me. So once again, everyone, if you're looking to enter into the giveaway portion, make sure it's in the title too. To put ID and then colon. Don't, if you do like the freaking autocorrect mobile thing where it autocorrects to I apostrophe D, it's not going to work, I don't think. So make sure it is just ID colon and then your ID number. So that will get you entered in. I have 15,000 marks. Good for you. That's enough to max out 1 legendary pilot. Welcome to welcome to the pain that it takes so long for me to max pilots, bro. New players should save as much resources as they can. That's what I did. Now I have 11,000 SP. Yep. A lot of the issue is not. I mean, I'll agree that the game is a bit spend heavy. Like they really try to push you to spend money, especially, and then a lot of things just cost a lot of resources. But a big part of it is that players aren't spending wisely. They're just spending their A coins as soon as they get it. As soon as they have enough A coins for I mean, literally, this happened like not even a week ago. Somebody apparently got the A coins enough to buy Stalker, bought Stalker, and then felt the need to DM me on Discord asking when my next giveaway would be because it's urgent. I just ran out of A coins because I just bought Stalker. It's like, okay, well, look, you could have just not done that immediately. So people get a little bit too excited and they spend it preemptively, and then they end up regretting it. So I do my best to try to save people as much as they can. Well, first off, by giving them more in terms of like this giveaway, but also just, giving them advice, being like, hey, don't use resources on stuff that's just a bad investment, like rare pilots. It's not even, it doesn't even have anything to do with the fact that you won't be using a rare pilot in late game. Like that's unimportant. Rare pilots are fine. Epic pilots are fine because, you'll use them for a really long time and they're still very effective. And, sometimes it's better to spend a little bit more now, if just because of the bonus it'll get you. But rare pilots is not one of those cases. You shouldn't be maxing out a rare pilot. Sin TDM. Would you swap any weapons around, assuming Redeemer is also maxed soon? Eclipse stays at 6 for a while. Okay. Going to assume it's this one. Interesting build. It's a bot build, for sure. Nice gold futurist on everything, though. Very, very fancy. I would say that the addition of more effective tanks, just like players using Vortex, or even just, you know, the bots are always using tanky stuff constantly, has made sustained weapon Eclipse a lot less effective. And I suppose I should lump Nomad in with those, you know, effective tanks, because he's basically a tank. And the point I'm trying to get at is, when Eclipse was newer, Minigun, Graviton Beam were really, really good. Those were the topmost meta free-for-all builds that you could have, was like a Graviton Eclipse. Or Minigun Eclipse, depending on what you'd rather do. But nowadays, it's not so much the case. I would argue that Gravitons are better used on Bastion. The pod gun's probably better used on Redeemer, and then Missile Rack on Eclipse. I know Missile Rack Eclipse is kind of cringe, but you could possibly eventually swap it for like a Storm Rack. But also, it's not as bad as it sounds, honestly. I suppose you could do pod gun Eclipse too, but I feel like Eclipse is probably more useful than that. Depends. You could probably do either one. I don't think it would matter that much. Pod gun is the better brawling weapon, like of these two weapons, right? This one has better damage, but this one is a slightly better brawling weapon, so I would, you know, between these two weapons, pod gun is better for Bastion, I would say. But Graviton's even better than that. Let's assume for a minute that you just have like all of these maxed, right? Except for Panther, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Then probably ideally you'd put like Graviton 12s on Bastion. You might have the pod guns on Redeemer and then the Missile Racks on Eclipse. But honestly, I'm not even sure if pod guns are something you should be doing late game. Or like, no, I don't want to say late game, out long term. Ah, crap. I was trying to go back. You get what I mean. I always wait to spend till there's an event I'm also getting points for. Yeah, exactly. People think like the playoff events are really nice because it's like it literally just rewards you for spending your resources that you're like you'd be spending them anyway, but it just rewards you for doing it. So it's always worth waiting until then. Okay, Lenny, Stormrack 10 or Disc Launcher 8 and 12 when Eclipse is 6-star. Stormrack 10 or Disc Launcher 8 and 12. Stormrack 10 is a good choice. But I don't know if it's a good choice for Eclipse, if I'm being honest. I would say it's the sort of thing like you'd put that on maybe a Bastion, maybe an Aegis, possibly even a Nomad, but I don't necessarily think that's like a super ideal Eclipse weapon. With that said, neither is Disc Launcher. So I suppose, to some extent, I would say just go with whatever one is... you could just go with whatever one's cheaper. But ultimately, Stormrack is a great option. It's a great option for if you ever swap the miniguns on Aegis, if you put that on something else. You could technically even put the miniguns on Eclipse, but like I was just saying, it's less effective than it used to be. But yeah, Stormracks, I'm not so sure they'd be super well suited to Eclipse, and so maybe not worth spending the money and resources to get them and duplicate them. Silence, hello. All right. Lucky Charm, any recommendations for filling the last 2 slots of legendary pilots? It would be the 5.3. Brah. Okay. The 5.3. Let me reread this. I'm not sure I know what you mean. Recommendations for filling the last 2 slots of legendary pilots. As in, like, ability implants? For, like, Ember Gun? Not these, that's for sure. Field Radius literally could not be more useless. I don't think. The damage is actually more useful than the Radius is. Because the field damage is actually not terrible. I've killed quite a few things with that. Like if you get them low HP, you can kind of just like run them over as opposed to shooting at them. That's kind of fun. But the radius is kind of pointless. In terms of this, if you're committing to Disc Launcher on Eclipse, you're going to want cooldown. Yeah, probably cooldown over duration. I would go with, Ember Gun. Cooldown or duration would be better than the radius. This, though, I would try to get something to replace this. In fact, why do you... That's interesting. So once you can get this duplicated and you have Surge at rank 6, then probably Graviton Surge is a lot better. For the time being, you could even swap these, and it would probably do you slightly better than the way that it is right now. Because Ember Gun's just so much better than Carbine. But at least Vortex has, like, a ton of HP, so it could, it can tank whatever. So it might be a bit better. I wouldn't even worry about the implants or the pilot for this, because Carbine's not something you should even attempt to do long term. Stasis Beam, wow. Some high-level rare Stasis Beam implants. Very interesting. Definitely don't get them past level 3. If you have a rare implant, don't get it past level 3. It's not worth it. The missile rack. Interesting. Very few implants. Yes, ability implants. Most of these it's hard to say. I would say that you really want to make them as arbitrary as possible. Because it's very, very unlikely that at this stage in the game, you're going to fully commit to the builds that you have right now. Right? So, like, late game, you're probably not going to be using a Missile Rack Gatecrasher, let's be honest. So using Gatecrasher implants on this pilot, kind of pointless. I would go so far as to say you're probably not even going to use Ember Gun on Vortex late game. Like, later on. I don't think that's necessarily a permanent build. I think it's just a build that works the best. You know, maybe it works the best for you right now, but that doesn't necessarily make it a permanent build. So I would not bother investing in Vortex-specific implants on this pilot until you know, like, this is the weapon I'm going to be mostly using on Vortex for basically forever. So I would try to keep it as arbitrary as possible, leaving empty slots if necessary, but otherwise just cooldown and sometimes duration. A lot of your mechs do use duration, so that duration should be all right as well. Okay, AK-47. Max Eclipse, Bastion, or Guardian first? Eclipse, Bastion, Guardian. Oof. Well, you're already at 28 energy, which means you're not using 4 of your energy here. I would imagine if you had a Railgun 16, you would be using it right now on your Guardian. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that you probably don't. Since this is the case, it's kind of pointless to max out your Guardian because you're not going to be able to utilize the extra firepower that it would get. Right? 10 and 8, 16, 8 and 10, 8 and 8 and 10. Those are 10s, those are 10s. That's a 10 and an 8. Also a 10 and an 8. You've really backed your... Like, I don't see yourself set up for any maxed mechs. I actually don't think you should even worry about maxing mechs. Because it does not appear that you have the weapons necessary to make a maxed build work. So it would cost you a really, really large amount to get the weapon, duplicate the weapon, and then put it on the maxed mech. So you'd end up maxing the mech and then just be stuck with, you know, a 10 and an 8. Or in Bastion's case, right? You'd still be using Arc 10s, so there's no point in maxing the mech. Because a max, you only get a little bit of extra HP. It's not even worth it. So you don't max mechs for the HP, you max it for the extra energy. Pretty much exclusively. So what I would worry about first is getting Nomad and Surge to rank 6, figuring out which one you want to keep Ember Gun, and figuring out what you're going to put on the other one. If I may suggest, probably Missile Rack. You have an 8 and a 16 that you could use on Surge. If it was maxed. Obviously it's not right now, but that's fine. So you could use an 8 and a 16 on a max Surge. And then you could leave the Embers on Nomad. For the time being, since I don't think you have the... Well, I don't know if you have the 12. It's entirely nondescript to me. So if you don't have the Missile Rack 12, then put Missile Rack 8s on Surge and worry about getting Nomad to rank 6 first. So then you can use double Ember 10s, and, you know, you're not going to be wasting energy. Because there's no point ranking up a mech unless you can fit the weapons that you want to fit on there. Otherwise, it's kind of pointless. Josh Bud, hello. Baymaster, don't do that. Read the title. Make sure you put in the keyword, make sure you do it correctly. Like you're seeing most people doing. ID, colon, and then the ID number after. What build do you think I should use to increase my SP even more? Oh god. Is it going to be like a 14k hanger? Is that what I'm looking at? Hey, yeah, called it. Let's go. Okay. Miniguns. Alright, so here's a question. I think your SP goes up more if you use a weapon-specific implant with the weapon, right? So, like, first off, you could be using 3 legendary instead of 2 legendary and an epic, right? Like this one. But also, that would technically mean that probably the highest SP build you could get is Chain Gun, because it has 4 weapon implants. Theoretically. I would definitely avoid the ones that have epics, because that's probably dropping your SP a little bit. So what else is there? You want like as many weapon implants as possible, I think, because I don't think these arbitrary ability implants are bumping the SP up too much. Not as much as a mech specific one would. Or not as much as a weapon specific one would either. So what are like, trying to think of other weapons. There's too many of them. Other legendary weapons, I should say. Viper? I guess technically Viper. Now I'm curious. Inventory weapons. Okay, Viper probably. I know that one has 3. I didn't see you using Stormrack, I don't think. And that one has... Oh no, that one only has 2 legendary implants, so forget that. Same with Graviton, only has 2. Repeater, Revoker, both only have 2. EM Railgun, both only have 2. Discontrol only has 2. I think Chain Gun might be like one of the highest. It's probably like the highest SP you can get is with Chain Gun, I'm not even gonna lie. Like on a single build, I should say. But Viper, I suppose, is another one. Particle beams have 4 legendary implants, but you can only use 3 at a time. Wait. Since when? Don't they only have 2 legendary implants? There's well 3 and then but you can only use 2. There's the damage. There's the beam damage, there's the blast damage, and then there's the reload. And that's it, right? They don't have 4. Particle reload, beam damage, and I own the blast damage, which is right here. Yeah, there's only 3, that's what I thought. But you can only use 2 at a time. The reload's arguably not even that, oh, you thought they had it, bro. I freaking wish they had a range one, because I'm not even kidding you, that's what Particle Beam needs. It actually needs range more than anything else. It's so impossible to hit. It's like, it's a terrible weapon. It's not a brawling weapon, really. So you can't really use it like a Graviton. And even Graviton benefits a lot from the small amount of range that it gets. The 30 extra meters of range that it gets with the implant. I actually love using the range implant on Graviton. It's fantastic. But, you know, on some mechs, it doesn't really matter. But Particle really needs that range, bro. Kopek, hello? Curious if you go for Nomad Disruptors or some other mech with Disruptors and take Bastion out. I could replace D. I'm assuming you mean Disc Launcher? DL? In terms of disruptors, Nomad is one of the best, but it's also just one of the best mechs in general, and I'm not really sure if it's worth, you know, I don't want to say wasting it with disruptors, but I will say wasting it with disruptors, because that's kind of the best way that I can put it. It's much better with, like, high damage. Something like Ember or even Railgun. Chain guns have 4 legendary implants. Oh, I'm aware. That's why I said it. It's the only weapon with 4 legendary implants. Could replace disruptors with embers. Oh, yes. Kopek, yeah. For sure. Ember is much better on Nomad than Disruptor. Disruptor's fine, but, like, it's more of a fun weapon. Actually, it's really effective on Vortex as well. Like, if you're really looking for a disruptor mech, it's very good on Vortex. It's also pretty good on Solus, I'm not gonna lie, and even Hemlock and Lacewing. There's quite a few that it's actually pretty good on, but it's not like best of. It's not a top weapon, so I would say putting a mid weapon on one of the top mechs is probably not the best idea. Quantums have 4 legendary implants too, but they're only Oh. Wow, okay. I was misreading that. I thought you were saying the implants were legendary, but they're only epic, and I was like, well, hold on, that's a contradictory statement right there. No, but no, that makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I keep forgetting that they have 4. Actually, they have 5 implants total, don't they? 6. Damage, reload, range. God. Damage, reload, range, and then both of the status effects. So yeah, they have 5. It's kind of crazy. I won't lie to you, though. I forget quantums exist most of the time, so... So there is that. Anyway, this guy said, I bought Long Arm 12 recently. It gives me more satisfaction than using Railgun and EM. But I have skill issue with it on Hemlock. Which one might effectively use Long Arm? Typically, when you're stuck using a kind of bad weapon, slap it on Orion, you'll do fine. That is... that is just generally what happens. I see you even tried tanking. I wouldn't go for that. Most kind of like meh weapons, just like slap it on Orion. Orion makes bad weapons seem pretty good, but it doesn't really make good weapons super OP. So it's that, and that's why it's not really very popular late game. The reload is capped to epic, yeah. I don't think the issue with Quantum is the firing pattern, honestly. It basically forces you to use it at, like, close to mid-range. Otherwise, you just miss so many of your shots. I mean, maybe if you had the stasis implant maxed out, then you'd be good. But I don't even have the implant in general, much less... Or not maxed out, sorry, level 5. But I don't have it in general, much less level 5. But yeah... I would say that the biggest downfall of Quantum is just the mechanics of the weapon itself. Like it's a decent idea. It just kind of sucks to use it. I'm only 22 controller awards from 100% completion for my Orion. That's nice. Which mech should I buy next, or what changes should I do? Pretty simple question. Well... Oh, that's... You definitely shouldn't rank that up. You definitely shouldn't rank that up. In fact, none of these you should be ranking up except for maybe Guardian. You have Guardian, so you are in... Well, also Ares is in the same tier. I think they're both in tier 3. Um, it's sort of a tough time. Oh, you ranked up slingshot. I really am. I'm not opposed to that. Honestly, it's one of those things where it's like, arguably, you kind of have to. Definitely don't buy shadow because that's a waste. It's not terrible when you get it, but it becomes pretty terrible pretty quickly. In terms of okay, well, first off, I see you have pulse cannon. You could be using long arm 8s and they'd work way better. I'm not even gonna lie. It's a rank low. They start a rank lower, and they're also a tier like a rarity lower, but they still work better than pulse cannons. In full honesty, it's probably the most optimized you could get your hangar as of right now. I would work toward trying to get. Get like, try to get as many like credit based weapons as possible to get yourself to tier 4. And then from there, you could get Tengu. It's a decently fast mech, and it is pretty good. But I don't. It's also a light mech, so it's probably not really worth it. Stalker is a much better bet. And that should start with the 12 energy that you need. It'll start at rank 3. So it should start with the 12 energy that you need. And then you can replace your Puma with a mech that boosts the damage of those cryo javelins. So that would work much, much better. And then from there, once you get to tier 5, buy Redeemer, because you're going to need some more effective speed. Only having Slingshot as a beacon runner is painful. JR Pro. Did I already do you? I don't remember. What do you think I need for endgame or now? Because my builds are good, but not the best. Okay. Okay. The Stalker and the Killshot are really the only ones that are out of place. Panther's fine. This is a good build. I see that you kept it in both your hangars. You didn't change that. That's good. The disc launcher Panther also remains the same in both hangars. That's probably fine. Missile rack, Ember, and railgun. Very interesting. What would you replace Killshot with? Even a Redeemer would probably be better than Killshot, I'm not gonna lie. Redeemer could make pretty good use out of Missile Rack, honestly. Ideally, you want Railgun on Surge, because that is a very, very good endgame build. EM rifles are able to be bought with Acoins, and it's been that way for a very long time. So getting the 16s for Panther would be very beneficial for you. Otherwise, you could get the 12s, put them on Killshot, and then basically just leave Killshot there until you can replace Killshot with either Redeemer or Eclipse, both of which are very good with EMs as well. Much better than Killshot anyway. And then the Stalker, just kind of leave it with your spares. I would say for the most part, like, if you're stuck with an unideal mech, basically give it that all of your leftovers and then just try to, like, try to make the most out of whatever you have left. Most matches, you probably don't end up having to spend all 5 mechs anyway. So, like, in terms of things, this is probably your better hangar. But the Panther, the disc launcher, not so sure about that. Disc launcher on Stalker might be not terrible, though. If you have the 8 or double 12s. Paymaster, do you put a freaking backslash? Oh my goodness. This guy. Alright, Pokey. I know I have a trash hangar, but what do you recommend me to buy or upgrade or replace? Stalker is the one that probably needs replacing the most, which is sad because it's one of the two that you actually have maxed. This isn't terrible, honestly. This is pretty good. This is really bad. Like, I can't imagine this works at all. So this is really holding you back for sure. This one, Seal Extract, you could slap it on most things and it'd probably be fine. But also, I would actually say replacing these two weapons, replacing the weapons on, or swapping the weapons on these two, would probably do you slightly better than the way that it is right now. Yeah. The Redeemer. Redeemer's not a bad mech, it's just that Arc Torrent is... even before the Arc Torrent nerf, even before the Great Update, an Arc Torrent Redeemer was never a good decision. So let me just put that out there. Was never ideal to do this. So, I don't know what you have, but you definitely need to find something. Nade Launcher 10s would be a much better decision. If that's a thing that you can do. Disc Launcher Stalker. I'd say the mech that you really need to replace is the Stalker. And then the weapon that you really need to replace is the Arc Torrent. But, I mean, just an observation. This is the only fast mech that you have, and you don't have any type of tank. So I would recommend that Stalker gets replaced with an Aegis. Or a Bastion, if you could do that. And then, preferably, some type of high damage weapon be put on that. Like Graviton 10s, even. Doesn't really matter. I think he was doing achievements. I don't care. I really don't. What do you want? What do you want me to do with an achievement hanger, right? I'm not gonna tell you how to do achievements. If you give me a hanger, I'm going to assume that that's the one that you want. So, that's actually a /. Well, you know what? I'll / you out of the stream. General advice to advance to the next tier quickly. Well, you didn't tell me what tier you're in, so I'm going to have to guess. Yeah, I have literally no guesses whatsoever, because you have all kinds of stuff that's from, like, tier 8. You weren't using achievements? Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if I'm sent to Hangar, I'm going to assume it's not for achievements. Otherwise, what am I even supposed to do with it? Well, Embers on Guardian. Nades on... Wow. The Panther is really the... I mean, I guess all of these are kind of low rank. Probably... 8, 8, 10, 6. I mean, it's hard to say what would work well or not, because all of this is rank 3. It's like, I don't even know what you're fighting. More than likely, this hanger works fine. I mean, even given the fact that you're missing quite a bit of speed. The Guardian's kind of out of place, but yeah, I have no idea what tier you're in, so I wouldn't know. Okay. Hey, we're over an hour in. Let's go. Out of the 3 mechs, what should I upgrade to 5-star? Guardian, Panther, or Gatecrasher? Panther is probably the best of the 3. Leonardo says Gatecrasher is better. No, it's not. No, it is not. Why is Gatecrasher not better than Guardian? Or Panther? The reason is because protection, mostly. Every single top meta mech can protect itself with its ability in some way. Just without exception. Don't spam, whoever you are. I'm gonna put you in timeout. And if I put you in timeout, it may or may not remove all of your messages, and you won't end up being entered. So, you know. Also, make sure you put ID : and then your ID number. If you want to enter the giveaway. It's in the title. Make sure it's not misspelled in any way. Let me just do this. And then I can pin that. So use that format where it's like, you have ID and then colon. Bro puts a semicolon and then a colon and then, oh my god. Well, it's you're not entered that way. I'm gonna put Helix on the mech that I upgrade. Well, that wasn't what you said. You didn't ask which one was better for Helix. You just asked which one's better in general. Those two things might not always be the same. May you review me Hangar? You know what? Sure. Nobody else is really saying anything. Nobody else is really doing it. Professor Oof. Okay. I like the doubling down of beams. Beams are fantastic. Helix on Gatecrasher is not a bad idea, honestly. Ember Eclipse. That's a good free-for-all build, but not really good anywhere else, if I'm being honest. And then the Disc Launcher Orion's not too bad. So you don't really have any range. The only speed you have is this. So I would very much consider trying to fix those two problems. The most common and probably the most optimal way of solving those solutions is to try to make Panther your sniper mech. Panther's one of the best sniper mechs out there. So that'll solve your range issue. You would then most likely, especially since Disc Launcher is just not super ideal as a weapon anymore, replace the Orion with something else that's fast, preferably a Nomad. You would then put the Ember Guns on the Nomad, and then honestly, even Disc Launcher on Eclipse is fine. But Ember Gun on Eclipse in CPC, not really going to work. That's assuming you play CPC. But considering you have Helix, I'm going to assume that you do, because I very much doubt anyone mains a Helix build in, like, 2v2 or whatever. So I'm going to make that assumption. So yeah, those are the changes that I would make. Obviously, they're not all going to happen at the same time. But if you can slowly make those happen, you're going to see a big increase in your general hangar effectiveness, especially if you give yourself more range. There are some maps that are just absolutely brutal to play on if you don't have a sniper. So the first thing I would work on is range. And then, you have these duplicated, you won't be using them, but, once you eventually max out Bastion, nice skin, by the way, it's probably one of my favorites as well. Once you eventually max out your Bastion, you'll have double 12s ready and waiting for you, so that's nice. Yeah. So first and foremost, range. Secondarily, try to get a Nomad, put the Ember on the Nomad, and then just kind of give Eclipse whatever's left, and then try to get something good on Eclipse after that. That is what I would say. I did notice you had like a 6-digit ID, though. So you've been around for quite a while. Should I buy a legendary pilot? That's an interesting question. Oh, okay. So he's bought one epic pilot. This one was probably given to him for free from the event. So he bought one epic pilot, and he's now thinking, okay, should I just skip epics and go straight for legendary? It's a valid question. Good 6. That's nice. If you did, here's the issue. Is that I actually don't think, this is a weird pilot to be using on Helix, by the way. I actually don't think any of these weapons are super ideal to be using late game, so I don't think there's actually much reason to be using a legendary pilot quite yet. Now, if you wanted to use one for missile rack, I would respect that because missile rack is pretty good. It's one of those weapons that, like, I think pretty much everybody uses, basically throughout their entire progression. It's one of the few weapons that stays in people's hangars because it's just really good. Voltaic, nah. Disc launcher, nah. Even nades, kinda, nah. Chain gun, definitely not. And frags mostly get replaced by embers. So, I would say, honestly, you could probably just go with more epic pilots. But if you really want a legendary, I would say missile rack. Did you reach the Hamter Lacewing Fund goal? I'm assuming you mean. The answer is no, but I bought it for him anyway. I didn't. It was never going to be. It was never a situation where it was like if we didn't reach the goal, then Hamsgun wouldn't have gotten the thing. That was never the situation. It was more or less like I'm going to eventually get him this thing, and if anyone wants to contribute to that, then I'd very much appreciate it. Whoever you are, Mr. Guy with no name, you need to chill the freak out, because if I put you in a timeout, all of your messages get deleted. And you're not in the giveaway anymore. If you want to get your hangar reviewed, then ask a question. You might notice the people that I'm reviewing, I always read what their message says, and it's always like something around the lines of I need help with something kind of specific, or I'm looking for advice on this sort of specific thing. This isn't necessarily because I only want to give advice on that one thing. It's more or less for one thing, it's basically people's way of being able to say, hey, I want my hangar reviewed, instead of just like I want to dump my ID in the chat and then run for the giveaway. Dump my ID in the chat for the giveaway and then run. But also what it tells me is that they're thinking about things, right? They're thinking about what their hangar is, how they could make it better. And so when I tell them how they can make it better, it's not just something that they'll just like blindly obey and then come back 20 minutes later and be like, oh, can you review it again? Which is something that I get a lot of, unfortunately. What in the world was the question with this one? I don't even remember. 296477. Baymaster. Should I get Nade Launcher 6 for Nade Launcher Orion? Nade 6? Nah. Any 6 energy weapon that costs 8 coins that's like epic or legendary? Hell no. I think the rare ones are pretty cheap, but like even still, not worth it. This is fine for the time being. This is a very interesting choice, if I'm being honest with you. I would actually venture to guess that swapping these two builds would actually get you better results. Because, like, Nade Launcher 10 does some good damage, right? That's a pretty heavy hitting weapon. And then you could use your EMP time to deal some damage during that. But if someone's like, let's say, in your face, yeah, you could EMP them, but what are you gonna do with Helix Reg when someone's in your face? It's kind of pointless. But then Orion can kind of help with the just generally making Helix Reg 8s a bit more useful. So that's nice. I despise how quickly these freaking idle animations go up and down. It's really annoying. But Redox with EM 6 and 10, that's very interesting. 16 energy. Okay. I'm assuming you're trying your best to get EM 10 to rank 6 so you can duplicate it. It's a good idea. Eventually you can put double 10s on like Orion or something, right? Even if you don't use Redox long term. This is not a terrible build, probably better than the Zephyr. I was going to say you could put the frags on Zephyr because that would pair better with the EMP, but honestly, Sentinel's probably better than Zephyr. So maybe replace those, but yeah, don't bother with Nade Launcher 6 because I know it costs 8 coins and it's way more 8 coins than it's worth. Pogster. I mean, there's your ID right there. You didn't put the keyword in, so that doesn't enter you into the giveaway, you know. Pradeep Uma, hello, hope everyone has a nice day. Well, thank you. To you as well. We have about 30 more minutes, by the way. I'm thinking of buying Railgun 12 and Pilot for Orion. I have almost 11,000 A coins. Should I do that or wait for Eclipse or Surge and buy that? Very interesting. Carbine on Panther is very interesting. Railgun 12 is good, but what would you put with it on Orion, right? Because you got 16 energy. I'm not sure if you... Like, do you plan on using Railgun Orion long term, or... I don't know. But also... Assuming you have, like, tier 7, is it, unlocked, that I think has, Eclipse? I speculate that the next PvE event is going to be for Eclipse, and they will probably make it available for in-game resources. They'll probably make it available for A-Coins during that event. With that said, though, Surge is probably still better than Eclipse. Except for maybe in free-for-all. So if you're someone who grinds tournaments, including free-for-all, then you probably would want Eclipse first. So there is that to be said. Otherwise, Yeah, getting better pilots is definitely a good idea. Wait for a playoff though. Wait for one of those playoffs where it's like, spend A coins to get points. And then you can maybe even win something on top of that. On top of just buying what you already were going to buy, you maybe even get something extra on top of that. So that would be nice. And at very least, you probably get some crates or something. So there's that. But yeah, Railgun 12's a good option, but I would say you're more so in need of pilots. And I'm not really sure what you'd put Railgun 12 on as of right now, if I'm being completely honest with you. I did some upgrades. Could you review my hangar again? No. Get this man out of here. I didn't review yours this stream. I think I did last time? I don't remember. Okay. So this looks like a... This is like a free-for-all hangar? This is a free-for... yeah, this is a free-for-all build, for sure. Very effective free-for-all build, too. But in, like, CPC, it's kind of crap, I'm not gonna lie. I would not recommend an Ember Gun Eclipse for, like, CPC. Or even 5v5, honestly. Stormwreck Bastion, the Platinum would approve. Minigun Surge, I personally would approve. Railgun Panther, that's not bad. Disc Launcher Seeker, that's an achievement thing and is kind of bad. If you're able to max out your Seeker at any point, then swapping these two weapons would be not too bad. It'd be better than it is right now, for sure. But Missile Racks. Missile Racks should be fairly affordable. I'm gonna assume you probably already own at least the 12, more than likely. And quite possibly already have a pilot for it. Even if it's just like Neymar, perfectly fine. I use my Missile Racks on Neymar. Works great. But yeah, Missile Rack Seeker is fantastic. Disc Launcher Seeker, not so much. Guys, look at the pinned comment. Yeah, that's what I thought. I switched to Minigun Eclipse for CPC. Oh, okay, and then you have the Embers on Surge. Yeah, that makes sense. You don't own Missile Rack 12? Damn. I mean, it's only like 3,000 A coins. You probably have that by now. I'm assuming you have Neymar as well. Unless you weren't playing during that time. Techno, hello. How long are you planning to be on stream? Another like 30 minutes, and then we choose the winner. I need to improve my hangar because I keep losing to Disc Launcher and Missile Rack. But it's so hard to unlock a Missile Rack 8. It's 3,100 A coins, while Disc Launcher 8 is a bunch of credits. And then he puts his ID at the very end. I almost didn't see it. But that is very interesting. Very interesting one for sure. So Missile Rack 8 I actually wouldn't worry about. You probably mostly get killed by bots with Missile Rack 8. It's a strong weapon, but it's a lot of A coins for an 8 energy weapon, and I honestly don't really think it's worth it. If you could get the 12, that'd be great. But you've yet to unlock that. It looks like, since you have Sentinel, it would appear that you're probably in tier 6. Because Sentinel's in tier 6. In which case, you need a Panther. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm assuming you got this naturally from tier 6. You didn't, like, spend money or something to get it. Which I wouldn't be judging you for, but I'm assuming you have tier 6 unlocked. In which case, I would say you need to go for Panther, you need to go for Redeemer, and you need to go for Aegis as well. The Panther can replace your Arachnos, Redeemer can replace your Tengu, and the Aegis could honestly replace your Sentinel if you really wanted it to, but the Zephyr's much worse, so it would probably replace your Zephyr. So yes. In terms of weapons, you're definitely kind of struggling a little bit. No Seracs and disc launchers. Honestly, the thing is that, like, it's not even so much that you're losing to specific weapons because those weapons are OP. It's mostly because you're using really bad mechs, and I'm not even gonna lie. Most of these are really bad mechs. Like, these two are pretty good. The others are really not. So I would definitely recommend going for Panther first, because that'll block literally everything. It has an indestructible barrier. It'll block whatever gets shot at. It doesn't matter how OP it is. So definitely go for Panther first. And then after that, probably Redeemer. Or actually Killshot, never mind. Because you have what am I talking about? Saying Redeemer, like you're in tier 5, but you're in tier 6. You could get Killshot instead, so that it actually further push you toward tier 7. Not to mention Killshot's the better scout. Or the better beacon runner, I should say. So yeah. It's mostly a mech thing. Joker. Should I max my Aegis and Bastion? It'll cost me 2,000 A-coins, or duel my Ember 12 for Surge. Now, a maxed mech is really effective, primarily because you get not only the HP bonus from the upgrade, but you also get, in this case, it's 4 energy added on to 20 energy, which is a 20% increase, right? So you get a 20% increase in damage just by leveling it up that last time. And it's mostly the energy that you do it for, which means that you want to make sure if you're doing it, you have the weapons to do it effectively. Both of these mechs have weapons that are kind of crap. So, if I'm being honest, what even would I say? This is kind of tough. Now, you have Ember Gun, right? Is what you're saying. Ember Surge. Possibly EM Orion and Railgun Bastion. Because I don't think EM Bastion is not nearly as good as Railgun Bastion, I don't think. The Brick House, obviously, that just kind of stays. But Carbine's a crap weapon. Disc Launcher is not a terrible weapon, but it's a really bad weapon for a tank. You could theoretically put Disc Launcher on Orion. And then do, like, EM on EM on Aegis, and then Railgun on Bastion, if you really wanted to. Aegis is a slightly less aggressive tank. You tend to keep a little bit further back when you place the dome, just so that people don't get inside your dome really easily. And so that's why it's slightly better with EMs, because it needs to keep its distance anyway. The Bastion prefers to be up close because of the EMP that the shield gives when it goes down, so the Railgun's going to be more beneficial there than EM would. Neither of these are very good with Embers, otherwise I would say leave it the way it is. I mean, I guess, yeah. If you were to max one of them, go with Bastion first, in my opinion. You could even put Carbine on Surge, EM on Orion, Railgun on Bastion. If you thought that would be better. I mean, experiment, right? Experiment. You may as well. But if you did duplicate your Embers, then, you know, what are you going to do with your EMs, right? You can't put it on Aegis, you can't put it on Bastion. You can put it on Orion, but then what do you do with your railguns? So I would say, ultimately, maxing out a mech first is probably going to do you more good than duplicating Embers. You could duplicate Embers right after, but at least max out one other mech first. You don't necessarily even need to spend the A coins, you could just wait it out. So hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully that helps. As always, like, you know, experimenting with your hangar is a good idea. So, 17, I need help also, please. I've been struggling, and I want to hear someone's opinions on why. Interesting. Slow max. Immediately. I know exactly what you. I know exactly what your issue is. You have literally nothing that's going to win you a match in CPC. Period. Not a single one of these mechs can cap a beacon effectively outside of the very beginning of the match. So if you don't kill everything, you lose by default. So I see Sentry saying something. Yeah. So this is why you're losing, because you have 0 speed, absolutely 0 speed. In fact, the fastest thing that you have is a Puma, which is really, really sad, because that's only 20 kph. This is 16. This is 18. This is 14. This is 14. So I would recommend. What tier are you in? It's hard to say. If you can, try to get, like, Redeemer. It's in tier 5. So that's the earliest epic scout you can get. So at least there's that. Tengu and Shadow are both of the rare scouts, but neither of them are really worth getting because they have such pitiful amounts of firepower that it's really not even worth doing it. So yeah, there's that. But otherwise, I would say, apart from that, if you can't get speed, then try to at least get range so that you have a longer effective influence, which you're gonna need if you can't influence the match by getting places, you can at least influence the match by shooting places, which you could do effectively with, like, Rocket Mortar, Helix Rack, or even Long Arm. I would replace Voltaic 8s with Long Arm, personally. This you probably got from the daily login thing. That's pretty fancy. This probably works fine. This probably works fine. And this probably works fine. But, yeah, replace this with Long Arms. For sure. And that's about all you can do until you get some faster mechs. There's not a whole lot you can do otherwise. You're very much just at the mercy of what your bots decide, what beacons your bots decide to capture, or what beacons your teammates decide to capture, or even what beacons your enemies decide to capture, because you can't do any of that. And it's not good to limit yourself that way. I have too many choices on things to upgrade, yeah. I feel ya. My Orion has 8 energy and I don't know what to put on it. Okay. I mean, Javelin 4s are not a terrible choice. Everything's at 3-star except for the Orion. Two Jav 4s, I mean, you could technically do a single Helix 8, which would be more effective. I also notice you do have 3 scouts, that's nice, but you don't really have any range. The only range that you have technically is Javelin rank. So if you get like a sniper map, like let's say the Mech Arena map, or even Elon Station, right, in terms of CPC, then you'd probably be better off with a single long arm 8 on Orion than you would with Javelin racks, I'm not even gonna lie. Because you need that range. And Orion's a really good mech to put range on. So any sniper would be very nice for you. $25 of 34 mechs and 72 of 143 weapons. Hey, nice. Gotta love the variety though. I love having as many mechs and weapons as I do, I'm not even gonna lie. Like even the stuff that's kind of bad, it's fun to have. How is no one else being blocked for spam, Pogster? Maybe they are, they're just not freaking out about it like you are. They probably just like they drop it and then they leave and they didn't then they like don't even realize that it didn't get shown. I mean, you had it the one time. I just there was another one that was better. Sorry. You got it to work the one time. I don't know why you can't get it now. But also, you know, don't be a drama queen about it. Going to swap out Ares with Killshot once I get the 8 coins, but not sure what weapons to put on it. Well, you're gonna have to give me your ID, otherwise I'm not gonna be able to, like, I can't review anything if you don't give me an ID. And I'm definitely not going to scroll back and look for it. So don't tell me that. Should I save up for Guardian? I mean, you can. It's a good mech. It's probably the one that's most worth getting in tier 3, I think. Yeah. Yeah, it's tier 3. Oh, yeah, see, look. Pogster, look. Master Games is also saying that his isn't showing up. It's not just you. Mr. Vanilla, are you late? I mean, technically, but you're not too late to enter the giveaway. So, commas currently do not work, and also it only gets what is visible. Meaning if I time someone out or something, then, you know, all your submissions are gone. Your ID is no longer in the list. So don't get yourself timed out, for sure, which means don't spam. But also, yeah, commons apparently don't work, says the Jayco. I mean, Jayco, if you're in this stream right now, we really haven't had any people using commas. Like, pretty much everybody's just been doing it normally. There's only, like, one person who, like, he can't even get his ID to show up, just in general. And it's the same person. Red, welcome back. Are my messages being hidden? Not seeing them pop up above face cam in chat box? They probably are. YouTube hides a lot of random comments. If it sounds sus, then YouTube probably hides it. But also, I think the stream takes... You see in the top, on the top of the chat box, you see how it says top chat? If you click on that, or if you press on it, that is not the same as live chat. That is not all messages. That is what it literally says. It says some messages, such as potential spam, may not be visible. Yeah. So that's what the top chat is. And I'm pretty sure that's what Streamlabs is going by, is the top chat. So even if technically it might be something that like you could see, but it's not something that will necessarily show up in the stream. But that is what it is by default, and I think that's what the that's what the ID collector bot would also use. So if it's not showing up there, then that means you might want to reconsider what you do. What I hear from some people, what I'm hearing is that YouTube's a lot more likely to remove your comment or your live chat if it's something that you copy pasted from someone else's into another person's video or live chat, right? So let's say you're entering Mayor's monthly giveaway, right? You use you put your comment, whatever, and then you literally copy paste that and you put that into my giveaway video. There's a very high likelihood that YouTube's going to remove it. It's not even going to show up because it thinks that it's spam because you literally copy pasted the exact same comment into multiple videos. So try to avoid doing that. I was fighting against a clan with friends and I managed to get a godlike with Stormwreck Lacewing. Nice. Was that the official? Was that a community cup? Red? I have to know. Did you win? You have his ID, so you'll manually add it? Okay. Well, that's not really a long-term solution, unfortunately. It was like next time or something. Like, you're not going to be here next time, most likely. All right, well, I mean, your ID did go through, but that's not going to cut it for the giveaway, unfortunately. But I'll do this. Do I have anything in my hangar worth upgrading, or should I just focus on higher tiers? Surge, obviously. Panther, even Guardian. Railgun, missile racks, EM, even frags. Frag Surge is a pretty good long-term goal. Railgun Panther's a good long-term goal. Guardian you could use with a lot of different things. You could probably do like Missile Rack Guardian. That's actually not a bad idea. And then the areas you would definitely want to replace that with a better tank. You do need a tank though. These two fast mechs, those will get you by, but you definitely need something that with more HP. And Ares is not it. So I mean, Aegis is pretty accessible, so that's a good choice. But you don't want EMs on it. That's kind of bad. EM on Redeemer is much better. And yeah. Or even EM on Panther and then Railgun on something else. Railgun on Guardian, maybe. Quite a lot of that's not bad. Just needs a little bit of optimization. What time are you choosing the giveaway winners? In like 10 minutes. Oh, that's... I knew this, Red, but I completely forgot, and it still cracks me up. The fact that a competitive tournament has anything banned because it's too competitive. Oh, that's hilarious, honestly. Like I don't even care what you're unless it's legitimately like bugged and it's not working right. Like that's an aspect of the competitive game field now, right? Is it not? If Lacewing's a really competitive mech, then it should be allowed into supposedly a really competitive tournament. I'm not joining Community Cup, but I did hear about that, and I think it's kind of dumb. But hopefully, I think part of it is that it was a little bit of a what would I call it? What are the words I'm looking for? It was a little bit of like an over exaggeration almost. Like he kind of jumped the gun with it. I think he saw it. He thought this is never going to work, and so he was immediately like, "Nah, it's going to be banned." But more than likely next season he'll be fine with it. I very much doubt that it'll be an issue next season. Giveaway winners will have to be chosen in a second stream. What do you mean? No, they don't. There's literally been like 3 people who put commas in their IDs, and those self-same people didn't even put the ID keyword in. So it's like they're fine. They wouldn't have been included anyway. Only 70 comment. Okay, hold on. Scroll down, scroll down, scroll down, scroll down. Let me see it. I'm sorry, what? Why does it say only 5? Jacob, what'd your bot do? 6? What? Now it says only 6 people. Jacob, you messed with the bot and reset it, didn't you? Oh no. You messed with the bot and it got reset. I don't want to do another stream, bro. I don't want to deal with that. Well, yeah, I'll have to post it, and then you'll have to wait like 30 minutes for it to process the live chat before you can even run the bot, most likely. Did the IDs disappear? Nah, the guy not responsible for the bot that I'm using, which is basically like, you know, it keeps my mods from having to be here the entire time. So it's like super useful, but it's having some technical issues. This happened last time. Pretty much the same thing happened last time. But it wasn't a big deal. What we had to do though is we had to wait until after the stream was over. We had to end the stream, and then I got the winner afterward instead of being able to do it during the stream, which is annoying because I really wanted to do it during the stream. Technology, yeah, pretty much. Well, so you know, it's a bot of his own design. It's not like an official one, so it's one of those things where it's like you run into bugs. Why did you choose the RuFFles for your YouTube channel? Do you love RuFFles chips? Honestly, no. I think RuFFles chips are very mid. And the reason that I chose it was because it was random. This has been my username since forever ago. Like, I've had it for like 15 years now or something like that. Is Solus the best heavy mech, or does Panther still reign supreme? It's hard to say. I would say, to a large extent, Solus is better than Panther. But it's kind of weapon dependent. I did not reset, but in my testing, I did not have more than 70 comments, and it seems YouTube only lets me get 70. I'm pretty sure the reason for that is try scrolling back in the live chat feed. It can't go all the way to the beginning. And I'm pretty sure we talked about this like a while ago. I'm pretty sure I mentioned it before. The chat history only goes back so far, so you can only collect so far at any like specific moment, which is why, which I'm pretty sure was the reason why you had it where it was like, you know, a start live command and then a stop live command, where it would compile them into a list during the runtime, and then when you ended it, it would just give you the full list. And if that's not what you were doing at any point, then that's probably a better way of doing it. You know, if you're looking for ideas. Aegis or Orion should I use in my ID? Okay. This will probably be the last one, but we got a couple minutes. Well, that was a build and a half that I saw as the MVP. Aegis or Orion? Well, that's a Max Panther. This is terrible. This is also kind of terrible. First order of business, put Gravitons on Surge. Put Arctorn on Brickhouse, because Brickhouse is just a worse mech anyway. In terms of Aegis or Orion, I guess it doesn't really matter because neither of them are going to be particularly strong anyway. I would say you're more in need of a tank than you are in need of damage. But a rank 4 tank against presumably like near maxed enemies is not going to do a whole lot. So at this point, like, you may as well do Orion just to get the most amount of damage from the 16 energy that you'd be using. But definitely Graviton on Surge. My hangers are trash. Nah, it's fine. I mean, my hangers also could. Bro, look at this freaking. this is the thickest hanger known to man. This is the thickest hanger you can get, by the way. It's absolutely beautiful. It takes up the entire thing. Look at how much space is in between all of these mechs. Even this one, like, there's some room in between there. You can see the gaps. And then this one is just like everything's full. It's so thick, I know, bro. In the future, I'll have to modify it so it grabs it every 5 minutes once started or something. The one that continuously streams tends to skip, so I'll have to... Oh, okay. So that one tended to skip things. I mean, was part of that the fact that, like, people weren't putting it in right? Like, because you've been working on, like, the specific ones where it's like the keyword and stuff, where it's like, if you don't have it capitalized or whatever. You've been doing kind of messing around with those parameters for quite a while, so I don't know if it was that. But yeah, it definitely needs to do it like throughout the thing. Otherwise, it's not going to work. Because yeah, you can only scroll back so far. I didn't realize that you changed deck. I probably could have told you from the start that that wouldn't work because it doesn't let you go back that far. It would seem it loads exactly 70 messages, which is interesting. I love you, my favorite Macarena YouTuber. Well, I appreciate that. I still have a Paragon for speed. The most pristine form of speed. Alright, fellas. Well, I'm going to have to end this stream regardless. So, let me unpin this. Here's the question. Here's the question. We have... hold on. Let me make a poll. I'll start a poll. So, the question is... which should we do? So the first option would be determine winner off stream. And then I'll make a community post. I'll post it in Discord. I'll post the video of me determining who wins. I think that's what I'm going to be doing from now on. Is like I'm just gonna post like a 30-second or like a minute-long video in Discord. I'm not gonna upload it to YouTube or anything, but I'll post just like a short video on Discord just in case anyone's like, oh, you rigged it or whatever bullcrap. Okay, option 2. Do another short stream, or let's say do a 20-minute stream. It's gonna be roughly a 20-minute stream, or a 10-minute stream even. 10-minute stream. To determine the winner. Or we could say I could even choose the winner tomorrow. Choose winner tomorrow. In a slightly stronger. It's stronger. I'm trying to get this like as short as possible. In a slightly longer stream. I think those are like the 3 main options that we have. So most people are probably not going to go for option 1, but that is the easiest for me. I'm just going to say that. If we did another stream, I could do like a really, really short stream to figure out who the winner is. But that's going to be like 30 minutes from now, because once I end this stream, I have to wait for it to process. I have to wait for YouTube to process the live chat. After which point I can run the bot for collecting IDs, and it could run through the entire chat history rather than just the just a little bit that it has access to right now. But yeah, that would be like a really short stream, and it would be kind of pointless. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'd be okay with just making a short video, then just putting that on Discord instead. I feel like that's basically the same. Or I could stream for a bit longer, but it would probably end up being tomorrow. So those are your main options. Let's see what Red has to say. Hail to 11. It's already past 10 p.m. Yes, sir, it is. Discord, what is the prize? That depends on what happens. So, if you're in my Discord, then go to the events channel. It's right under the server announcements. It's in the info and news category. So you go to events, and you can kind of read up on what all the different events, like what times there. This would be the 4th Sunday event. So the one at the very bottom. The giveaway stream. But basically what happens is one winner. I spin a wheel with all the IDs. Whatever it lands on, that's the one winner. And then I spin another wheel where it's like there's 10 chances. There's 11 options total. 10 of them are 1,000, and the last one is 10,000, which is, and this is out of pocket, by the way. This is not like Plarium sponsors. It's not like Plarium giving them A-coins. I get very little money from making YouTube videos, so this is, I can only afford to do one winner, by the way. But yeah, multiple people have gotten 10,000, but there is a small chance. It is a small chance, and that is purposeful. Just to keep my average statistical cost down as much as possible. You don't have Discord? Yeah, that's fine. I would post the winner in a community post anyway. I just wouldn't be able to upload. I just wouldn't upload the video to YouTube because there's no point. And if I uploaded it as a short, it would be the number of people that would be like, I didn't even know that you did one, or I'm gonna unsubscribe because you rigged it. I hate posting giveaway results on YouTube because there's so many people who's like, oh my gosh, as always, I didn't win. I should have won, but I didn't. Crazy. Good luck, RuFFles wallet. Yes, thank you. I haven't had to do it. I haven't had to do it in a few months, like maybe 3 months now, I think, in a row. I've only had to do 1,000, and I am all about it. I will freaking take it. I tried Discord, and they made too many changes, and it got aggravating. If you use a laptop or whatever, I think you can use I think you can download older versions of Discord, actually, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the mobile version of Discord, I'm not even gonna lie, is kind of terrible, and I never use it. I'll take 1K, but I only need 200 to get Missile Wreck 8s. Nice. Well, good luck. I'm assuming there's at least 100 people who entered, probably closer to 200. You're on Android? Yeah, fair enough. I use an Android phone as well, but I just I don't use Discord on on my phone anymore, really. I didn't enter my ID. Oh. I mean, technically you can now. This is like literally your last chance to do so. And then, because I'm just about to end the stream, I'm going to end the poll though. It would appear most people are okay with it just being off stream. I appreciate that. That is much easier for me. I will, of course, I'll have the video up on Discord in the announcements. So if you want to join the server, you can just go to announcements. It'll be there eventually when I decide to do it. But, it'll be anywhere between it'll be sometime before I go to bed. Anywhere between now and like 3-4 hours from now. I don't really know. But yeah. Appreciate y'all for stopping by. Apologies once again for slight hiccup with the bot. Gonna have to take a little bit of extra time. And you won't know who the winner is just yet. It's always nice choosing it on stream. I wish I could. But it's alright. Eventually we'll get this figured out and it won't be an issue anymore. But, yeah. Appreciate y'all. Take care and good luck.